believe how fast time goes by. Oh my God. What are you rocking today?
You know, I I know they're not in the playoffs, but he is. Zeke has joined the Chargers for a playoff push. We're going with the Zeke jersey. I love Zeke, so we're going for it. Let's go Chargers.
There you go. Tell you what, if they end up going all the way to the finals, that means you got to get a Zeke Chargers jersey.
You know how weird that. I will get praised for having that one in the collection. All right, a Chargers Zeke jersey. Oh yeah, that's coming home.
That's on wish list right there.
100%.
So we got a lot of interesting matchups. The super wild card round. This is now the, I think, fifth straight year, 21, 22, 23, 24. Yeah, because prior to that, they only had 6 teams in the
Yeah.
playoffs. So I'm glad they added the extra team, adds more for excitement and possible upsets as well. Because normally, if you're a number 2 seed, you're supposed to have that week off, but now you're still playing for your playoff life. So there could be a lot of pressure on both the Bills and Eagles, respectively.
Oh yeah, 100%. I love the new setup personally, so more football for me.
There you go. Can't wait. So I don't have these in particular order, but I'll probably do the AFC first, and then we'll walk into the NFC after. I just want to get your preview on them first because I have a lot of notes on some of these other matchups. So the first one has the number 2 seed Buffalo Bills taking on the Denver Broncos. What do you think about both these teams, and how do you think this matchup's going to turn out?
It all depends on weather. In my personal opinion on this one, I personally haven't looked at the forecast for this one. So if it's going to be cold and the weather's not going to be great, Buffalo's going to. I mean, I'm sorry. I know what you're wearing. All right, I see it. But if it's snowy, if it's cold, Buffalo has the upper hand at home. And it's just going to be too hard to beat them, especially with a young team like the Broncos. If it's a somewhat nice game, and the Broncos are clicking, could upset the Bills. I'm not going to lie to you. It could shock some people, but I'm gonna take the safe bet. I'm gonna go with the Bills. I'm gonna say I love close games in the playoffs. So let's go 24-20. I think Herbert's going to show a lot of people that he is one of those top quarterbacks in this league. I personally love Lad McConkey. I think he's, I like those guys who come across the middle and get those balls. Big Josh Palmer fan, Canadian. Little NFL action today.
Yeah. Sorry, someone just said hi. What are we talking about today? We're talking about the NFL playoffs. If you are watching, talking about the playoffs. So I didn't mean to interrupt you, but they sent 2 messages. I didn't want to ignore them. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm a big Josh Palmer fan. So,
is your board game on right now? No.
Yeah, I wish there was football on. Anyway, Josh Palmer, Canadian. You got to root for the guy. So, I like what I'm seeing out of. I'm talking about the Chargers now. I'm thinking about Zeke. I'm sorry. I'm distracted by the comments. I apologize. All right. I apologize. I'm talking about the. Oh boy. Rewind.
Yeah. Let's go back.
The Bills.
Yeah.
Gonna wipe. If it's cold, they're gonna wipe them. I'm gonna still say it's a close game. We're sticking with 24-20. You take the floor. Let me reset.
They just said, I am new to this channel. Well, hello, Alien Roblox 13. I appreciate the views. Do you allow case in the stream? I don't know. I mean, I don't know what kind of question that is. Anyways, I'm staying away from that. Anyways, so for the Bills and the Broncos, I did a little bit of history.
All right.
Looked in the back. This is going to be their 42nd time meeting, but only the second time they're in the playoffs. Crazy to think they've played that many times together, and this is only the second time that they're doing this. The Bills won that game on their way to a Super Bowl, which they evidently lost. The big thing for me is the Bills offense, and then the Broncos defense. I think that's what it's going to come down to. I don't think that Bo Nix is going to have a huge game. I think they're going to be overwhelmed. Honestly, there's no question about it. And I'm with you on this. Like, yes, I'm rocking my Broncos, but I'm taking the Bills in this matchup as well. I was watching a preview earlier, and they were talking about like the betting and the whatever it is. And I guess the Bills are 9 points over, so they think it's going to be a 2-score game.
No.
I think it's going to be a 1-score game. I honestly think it's going to either come down to a field goal or a touchdown. A touchdown seems more likely, in my opinion. So I'm going to take the Bills. I'm going to say it'll be like 27-20. I think it'll be around the same score, but I have a little bit more faith that Josh Allen's going to pull this one out, and they should advance to the divisional round. And honestly, I wouldn't even be that upset. Just the fact that we made the playoffs is a huge accomplishment, considering we only expected to win like 5 games this year. So the fact that we doubled that and overachieved, and like we beat out the Bengals, which they were looking red hot at the end. I'm not going to lie, they were a threat. So even if we lose, I still give them a lot of credit. They've definitely turned the corner. And I mean, everyone goes through droughts, and I know mine probably wasn't as bad as the team you cheer for, but man, those are the 8 longest years of my life. I was just waiting for hope, and finally we got Bo Nix. So we got a great future ahead of us. But yeah, I think that in this matchup, for sure, the Bills should win.
I completely agree. I'm going to take a side note. If the Browns mess up the number 2 overall pick, Ian, I don't know what I'm going to do. Just take a quarterback, please. That's my take on that.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that the Broncos can be a super sneaky team if they're clicking. If Nix throws one pick, it's over.
Yeah.
You have to play perfect to beat the Bills.
Yeah.
And that's just the way I see it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no question about that. The next one, I think it's going to be crazy because it's between the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Do you want to take the lead on this one? It's up to you.
I have a kind of a weird take on this game. I actually don't think it's going to be close.
Really?
No, I think the Ravens are going to smack them, like upside the head. I don't know. I've been trying to watch more Ravens games for some reason because I'm trying to like Lamar more. I never really liked Lamar, but he's really good, so I'm trying to like him more. With that being said, this team is scary. Everything I see from them, they hit you in the mouth. Hello.
Hey.
They hit you hard. They're big on the line. They only rush 4. Every play you watch, they're typically rushing 4 against 5. They never have a 5 lineman set because they're so big, which lets them have bigger coverage in the backside. So I don't know. I don't see a world where the Steelers even make this close. Pickens isn't 100%. Najee's slow. Russ doesn't throw the ball to Pat Freiermuth for whatever reason. Give me the Ravens. I'm going big here. I'm going really big. I think I'm going to go 31-17.
Wow. 31-17. That's crazy. Do you guys stream every night? No, we will probably only do it once a week. So 31-17. Okay, so again, I'll do a little background. So this is going to be their what is this? 63rd time in the regular season and postseason. So obviously these guys know each other. They hate each other. There's no love for Pittsburgh from a Baltimore fan and vice versa. They can't stand each other. But that's just like with any divisional matchup. You're not going to like the teams that you play twice a year. Now this is going to be a third time.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh leads the all-time series 36-26. And in the playoffs, they've met 4 times. The first 3 times Pittsburgh won in 2001, 2009, and 2011. Baltimore ended up beating Pittsburgh in a wildcard round in the 2014-15 season, finally getting their first win over their divisional foe. And I'm with you. I think the Ravens got this contest. I don't think the Steelers have a chance. They played so bad. They lost 4 straight games. They could have finished as high as number 2 if they smartened up. You know what I mean? Like they could have competed with the Bills. and then they gave the division away in the last month of the season. They just said, Baltimore, you can have home field. We want to play away, and now you got to go play Baltimore. So didn't that kind of backfire on you?
Good luck. That's all I can say.
And to me, I know Josh Allen is going to be the heavily favored for the MVP, but Lamar Jackson's made a very good case for what he should be back-to-back MVPs. I mean, the team struggled, and he got them out of the hole, and now look at them. They could easily go to an AFC championship. Like, I'll say this right now, if they beat the Steelers and go to Buffalo, they're winning that matchup. I don't think the snow is going to bother them that much. I mean, they've already beaten the Bills before, I think, or maybe they lost to them. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens went to the championship game and it ended up being a Chiefs-Ravens rematch of last year. If I'm going to be completely honest with you,
that's a hot take.
There's something about this team. Now they got Derrick Henry. Like, they're like an unstoppable force. Like, what are you going to do?
It's true.
Look what they did to our defense. We barely even had a game.
Yeah.
They got 30-plus points on us, and they can put up 30, 40 points. I'm with you. I don't think this is going to be a close contest. I think they'll mop the floor with the Steelers. I'm going to say it's like even going to be a bigger score. I think it's going to be 34-17. Oh, wait, you said 31, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 34-17. I think the Steelers fans, if there's any that show up, they're going to be walking with their tails between their legs.
Yeah. Anyone out there, if you're thinking about going to this game as a Steelers fan, don't go. All right? You don't want to get beat up. This is not the time to go. If you're a new fan, maybe, hey, I'm going to go check out this game. I'm a Steelers fan. Don't. Anyways.
The last matchup in the AFC has the Houston Texans and the Los Angeles Chargers. If you want to start with this one, go ahead.
I think this is probably the simplest matchup of the first round to me. Yeah. Chargers are going to win this game. Houston is simply not healthy, right? Stroud has not looked like himself. They call it a sophomore slump for a reason. Yes, you have Nico Collins, who I think is a top 8 receiver, roughly. Mixon's good, but those 3 guys can't win you a playoff game, right?
Yeah.
Offense-wise, their defense has some players that make huge plays, but I just don't think the offense is healthy enough to get the job done. Their line makes, at least from what I've watched, just so many unneeded penalties, all over the place. So I think it's just too much for the Texans right now. Something about this Harbaugh offense for the Chargers is working wonders. Herbert looks amazing. The guy throws for like 80% completion percentage every single week. He doesn't miss throws. He's not turning the ball over. They're running all over people. I mean, it's just a recipe for disaster for the Texans, I think. It's going to be probably lower scoring. I think it's going to be a run-heavy game for the Chargers. So I'm going to go 22-17. 17.
Wow, that's nuts. So for the Chargers and the Texans, this is just their 10th time playing. They've never played in the postseason. This is going to be their first playoff matchup. LA or San Diego, I guess, because they were before, the series 6-3. I can't rave enough about the job that Jim Harbaugh's done in LA. Everywhere he goes, he turns everything to gold. Think about it. When he got his first NFL head coaching job with the 49ers, they were trash the year before. He turned them into a playoff team. His first year in college with Michigan, turned them into a playoff team. And guess what? Did the same thing with the Chargers. First year with LA, turned them into a playoff team. Everywhere he goes, he improves the morale of the team. And I don't think the Chargers made a whole lot of changes in the offseason. They may have had a few signings or trades, but for the most part, this is a lot of the same guys just from a year ago. So it just goes to show that coaching can change the atmosphere of the room. It can have a huge impact on how you play. And again, he's just done such a wonderful job. And the rant I'm going to say about the Texans are, they started off hot, but man, like, is it like a curse in the AFC South to go really cold at the end of the season? It seems like every year the Jaguars did it 2 or 3 years ago, and the Titans were like that huge losing streak at the end of their season screwed them too. It's just like a curse in the AFC South. Like you start off so great, you look like you're a Super Bowl contender, and then you just crash at the end of the year. And those losses to the Ravens and Steelers, that just really hurt them.
Oh,
But
yeah.
or maybe they, I don't know if they played the Steelers, but they lost to the Ravens for sure. But I don't think Houston has a chance. I really don't. Yes, CJ Stroud is good, and yes, he did have one playoff win last year, but I honestly don't see them getting out of the first round. If they do, it would be like just sneaking by, like it would be like a field goal or something stupid. But LA is just too dominant. Justin Herbert is an elite quarterback. If he's not a top 5, he's definitely in the top 10, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
So I got the Chargers all day on this one. I think they'll even get 35 points. I think Houston might make a game of it, but I think it'll be like 35-24.
I like that. Yeah, I'm just thinking. I just went lower just based off. I think it's going to be a lot of running out of these fellas.
Oh yeah, for sure.
A slower game, if you will.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's not going to be the highlight of the week. There's just so many other good matchups.
Yeah.
All right, off to the NFC. 3 to go. The first one, we have the number 2 seed Philadelphia Eagles and the Green Bay Packers. If you want to take the floor,
this is all you.
Okay. So a little history, as I always do. This is their 48th time meeting head to head. The first time they met in the playoffs was a long time ago, back in 1960. The Philadelphia Eagles won that matchup over Green Bay, 17-13. The second time they met in the playoffs was in 2004. Philadelphia won that in overtime, 20-17. And just recently, well, not recently, 2011, the Green Bay Packers went into Philadelphia and beat Green Bay 27-13. So the Eagles have a 2-1 edge when it comes to the playoffs. But all their playoff matches have been in Philadelphia. They never played in Green Bay. So it's just it seems like it's like a curse. Like if you have to play the same team in the playoffs all the time or so frequently, it's like, why can't the roles be reversed? Well, just play better. The Eagles' offense is looking unstoppable, and there was rumors about Saquon Barkley possibly being MVP. He's played amazing. Like he had a hell of a season. He's going to get some kind of an award once they have that ceremony. He's getting something for sure. He's walking away with some hard work. But MVP, unfortunately, because Josh Allen has just had such an amazing season, I would probably be in favor of the quarterback getting that. But I'm sure he'll get something. There's no question about it. So they're unstoppable. I think he ran for over 2,000 yards, right?
He did get over 2,000, and then they benched him and didn't let him go for the record.
This is so crazy. Like, I would be so peeved.
Let the guy play.
Exactly.
If that's me, look. I understand that there's no I in team.
Yeah.
But this ain't about me. This is about history.
Yeah.
Right? I'm rewriting it. And that's if I was Barkley.
Yeah, no kidding. On the other side for the Packers, I'll just say Jacobs has been a blessing in disguise since leaving Vegas. Thank God he left Vegas.
True. Get him out.
They did him dirty. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh.
So I don't blame him for wanting to get out. So he had a breakout season with the Packers. I think he rushed for over 1,300 yards. So I think this is going to be a very run-heavy game. I don't see, like, there's probably going to be a few long throws, play actions. There probably will be. But I can see both teams running at 20, 25, maybe even 30 times, depending on how the outcome of the game is at that point. So I think this could be a matchup between Jacobs and Barkley. But I'm giving Barkley the credit. I think Philly comes away with this one. I'll say 35-32. And the only reason I'm a little hesitant, and I know it probably won't be that close, because I know Watson for the Packers is out for the rest of the playoffs. That's going to be a big loss for the Packers, in my opinion. So, actually, I'm going to change that score because I think that's giving the Packers way too much credit. Not trying to disrespect the Packers, but man, without Watson, I don't know. It might not be as close. So I'll say 35-21, I guess. It's probably not going to be a 2-score game, but I don't see the Packers winning this game.
Yeah, if you asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have said the Packers would win this game. As you said, Christian Watson is out. I also read a report today that Jordan Love told media, we'll see if I can play. So, Yeah, I mean, if Jordan Love doesn't play, cooked. Unless Malik Willis has some magic trick up his sleeve, which would be fantastic because I've got some collectibles with his autograph on it that I would love to sell. So, but yeah, Packers are not winning this game. Barkley's probably going to have 200 in this one. That's my prediction.
Yep.
I'm going to say Barkley has 200 total yards and probably 2 touchdowns. Yeah, it's just unfortunate timing for the Packers. Like I said, if this was 2 weeks ago, I'm taking the Packers in this one. But the way it sits now, the Eagles are just overall the better team. Their defense is great, offense is consistent, and they can stretch the field, they can pound the rock. There's no reason for the Eagles to lose this game.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Eagles, probably by a decent margin, like I said. Even if Love plays, he's not close to 100%.
Right.
And it's his throwing arm. So I'm going to go 27-13.
Wow. So you think Malik Willis could easily be playing in this matchup?
Oh, 100%. He could. Like I said, Love told media that we'll see. Like he said, we'll see if I can go. Not encouraging. What Wednesday?
Yeah.
Wednesday today.
Yeah.
4 days from the matchup.
You're either ready to go or you're not. Like,
Yeah.
that should be your mindset. You're either playing or you're not. You can't be like toying around because they run 2 different offenses with 2 different quarterbacks. Like it's like Malik Willis doesn't throw like Jordan Love, and Jordan Love doesn't play like Malik Willis. So like they'd have to find out who's our starting guy because we got to practice. This is a huge matchup for us. But yeah, just like you said before, I think it's going to be an unfortunate timing. And really, the Packers shot themselves in the foot by losing, I think, 2 of the last 3 games anyway, because they could have finished in the 6th seed. And if they played the Buccaneers or Rams, whoever finished 3rd, they could have made that interesting. They could have won easily in any of those matchups because that would have been a better matchup, in my opinion, for the Packers for the playoffs, knowing that you can't get the number 1 seed.
Yeah, I'm 100%. It's just the way the cookie crumbles, I suppose.
Unfortunately, they got to the big dance, but unfortunately, just like my Broncos, I think they're going to be first round exits. The next one, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Washington Commanders. If you want to take the lead on this one, that'd be great.
I can promise you this, all right? If my boy Baker Mayfield goes out there and wins this playoff game, I will buy a
Baker Mayfield jersey.
The feds are out. Anyways, a Bucks Baker Mayfield jersey. I mean, oh man, I love this team. Not only did my boy Mike Evans get to his 1,000 last week, which was electric, by the way. There was like 30 seconds left. Feed him the rock, Baker. Anyways, I don't know. I just like Baker. They're a fun team. I like Mike Evans. I love Bucky Irving. Their defense is fun. I love Antoine Winfield. I don't know. I think it'd be cool to see them win. I also love experience in playoffs, and the Bucks have that. They've been there with Brady. Now they're there with Baker. It's a lot of the same guys from when Brady was there, looking at like their core pieces. So they have the experience. Washington does not whatsoever. I really like what I see out of Jaden Daniels, but this is the classic scenario of rookie quarterback, savvy veteran, playoffs. I'm going to take the vet. I'm going to take the Bucks in this game. I'm going to go 34-31, last second field goal to win it. I think it's just a game of experience at that point, honestly. It's going to be who gets the ball last, and I think the Bucks do, and they'll go down and win the game.
Yeah, no kidding. So for the between the Buccaneers and the Commanders / football team / Redskins, whatever you want to refer to them as.
Bring them back.
Exactly.
Bring them back.
Exactly. This is going to be their 27th time meeting against each other. They've met so they've met 26 times prior to this one, and it's even 13-13 apiece. So whoever wins this game will obviously have the upper edge in that category. They've only met 3 times in the playoffs. 2000, Tampa Bay won that in an NFC divisional matchup, 14-13. In 2006, the Washington Commanders, I guess, won that one 17-10. And in the most recent matchup was against the Buccaneers, against Tom Brady, actually, in the COVID year, 2020-21, in the wild card round, and Tampa Bay won that one 31-23. So therefore, they have a 2-1 edge in the playoff edge in this one. And I think they have this matchup hands down. Yes, Jaden Daniels is, in my opinion, going to be the rookie of the year. There's no question about it. He played fantastic. And
Yeah.
I mean, I could argue Bo Nix was good, should be up there. But realistically, if it was close, but I feel like he should get rookie of the year. He should play big in this game. They did meet earlier in the season in week 1 and lost, but maybe with the knowledge of how they played against the Buccaneers, maybe they can use that to an advantage from the defense side or offensive side. I think it'll be close. I think it's like 33-27 Buccaneers. I do think it'll be interesting, but I think it's going to come down to Washington maybe has the ball last and either a turnover or they run out of time or whatever the case may be is, and that's how the outcome of the game probably will end. But I'm with you. The Buccaneers have been so dominant, 4 straight NFC South titles, 2 with Brady, 2 with Mayfield. I can't rave enough about the genius of whoever brought him over to Tampa, but he has truly revived his career.
Yeah, 100%. Just a complete turnaround.
All right, we got one more to look at. We have the Los Angeles Rams and the Minnesota Vikings. Do you want to do this one? If you want me to pick it, doesn't really matter to me.
Game of the week. This is game of the week for me. All right.
Okay.
And I'm taking the lead on this one for the simple fact that I'm taking the Rams. The Vikings ain't winning this game. All right. They might be 14-3? Question mark. I think they're 14-3. Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
But I don't know. It's something just in my heart. It says the Rams are going to win this game. And I think it's going to be, this is maybe an extra hot take. There's going to be a defensive touchdown in this one. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I could see like a big strip sack that goes back for a touchdown on Darnold. Darnold is, I have a really bad feeling that we're going to see the Jets side of Darnold in this one. And I think that's just something that Sean McVay will do to you. This guy is a mastermind back there. All right? He's going to make Darnold nervous, shaking his boots. As talented as the Vikings are, give me the Rams. Low scorer in this one, 24-23.
24-23.
Just a nail biter, start to finish. It's going to be a coaching masterclass. O'Connell, Flores, McVay. Oh, it's going to be an absolute movie. Buckle your seatbelts.
You're in for a show. Okay, well, I'm taking. I just want to say this first, then I'll go through the little history like I did before. I'm taking the Vikings only because when they finished. Listen. Only because when they finished their matchup against the Lions, what did Dan Campbell say? I'll see you in 2 weeks. That means he wants Minnesota to win, and they would more than likely play Detroit in the divisional round. And I think that would be an epic showdown because those two teams hate each other. Minnesota would want to go into Detroit and spank the Lions after getting destroyed in their Week 18. That would be so epic. And if that's the case, then Minnesota could be in a championship game. Like they just got 2 wins, right? So I'm going to take the Vikings in this one. I'll say the score first, and then I'll talk about everything in the past. I think it'll be like 31-26. I think I agree with you. There'll probably be a defensive touchdown. I'm saying it's going to be at least a pick 6. That would be crazy, and I think that's what could possibly turn this game around in favor for the Vikings. So this is going to be their 49th time meeting between these two teams. Minnesota leads the series 27-19-2. Yes, they did have ties. They've met 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is going to be their 8th time meeting in the playoffs. This
Whoa.
is crazy. Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Minnesota leads that series. I'm pretty sure. They met in 1969, and Minnesota won that game 23-20. In 1974, 14-10, in an NFC Championship game at that. In 1976, another NFC Championship game, and Minnesota won that game 24-13. So the Rams were having no luck against Minnesota in the 70s.
Nothing.
In 77, Minnesota went into LA and lost a divisional game, and LA lost at home to Minnesota. So it's like that was like 4 games in like a span of like 5 years. It was so crazy. LA finally won in 1978. Finally, 34-10. In 1988, they met in a wild card game. Minnesota won that one 28-17. And when the Rams moved to St. Louis, they only played one time when they were in the St. Louis era. That was in the 2000 season. And obviously, St. Louis won that one 49-37 on their way to a Super Bowl, which I think, that's when they won.
Yeah.
So they know each other from 2 different cities, but they know each other, and they're very familiar with each other. Minnesota does have the lead in that playoffs series, and I think they keep rolling. Like I said, I would love nothing more than to see, like, how much more exciting would it be to see? I mean, yes, if the Rams won, they'd possibly go into Detroit, and it would be another Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff thing, a rematch of last year's playoffs. But I think it'd be an epic game if the Vikings got this win, went into Detroit. That would be, you're saying this is the game of the week? That would be the game of the week for the divisional round. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about that. So, oh man, I'm ready for some football. I don't know about you.
Now I'm curious, based off of our predictions, just looking forward, if you were to pick the rest of the games, not score, just the winners, as it stands today, what would you pick?
Okay, so
our matchups are Chiefs Chargers for, I think, both of us, right?
Yeah, because I picked the Chargers to win, which would make them go into Kansas City. Yeah.
Okay, so who do you have in that one?
The Chargers and Chiefs. I think the Chiefs win. I think the Chargers make a game of it, but what the Chiefs can either beat you, like they can either mop the floor with you, or just like they've done most of the season, it could come down to a last-second field goal. And I think that's exactly what it's going to do, is come down to some last-second drama. But there's no way whoever goes into Kansas City is coming away with a victory. I hate to say it, but like, it doesn't matter how old Kelsey is, how many years he's played. He's still an elite tight end in this league. Andy Reid's a Hall of Fame quarterback, or sorry, a coach. And Patrick Mahomes, he's going to be in a Super Bowl every year of his career. Like, he's just so dominant. It's crazy. Like, I hate that. I hate it. I wish he would stop. Like, take a year off, buddy. Give somebody else a chance. But I think they're going to go to the championship game. And then in the other one, I had Baltimore and Buffalo. And like I said before, if that's the case, I think the Ravens win in Buffalo. Doesn't matter about the weather. And then, like, I think it'll be a Chiefs and Ravens rematch. This time it'll be in Kansas City, but I think that will be the championship game for me.
I'm leaning the other way. I got Bills in that game, and I'm gonna go Bills Chiefs as my conference championship. And then NFC side, what was the matchups there?
The first seed would be
Lions.
And I picked the 5th seed. So mine would be Minnesota Lions, and if you pick LA, it'd be LA and the Lions.
Yeah, so I'd take the Lions in that game, and then I'd take the Eagles in the other game.
You think they'll take care of business against Tampa Bay?
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then my winner of that, we'll get to the winner of that one after. So it'd be Lions Eagles is my championship
game. That'd be pretty crazy. So I think going back to the AFC championship, I should have just said this when I was talking about it, but I think the Chiefs and Ravens. I think the Ravens pulled this one out. I think they're just so mad at losing last year, and they're like, you know what? It's finally our time. They're going to take the Chiefs and dethrone them finally of their championship pedigree and finally get to a Super Bowl. For my NFC side, I would have Minnesota and Detroit. If Minnesota can smarten up, they could upset them. Like I said before, they could go and to advance to a championship thing. They had a very poor game, yes, against the Lions Week 18, but if they win against the Rams, they could win against the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had Minnesota on one side, and then the Eagles and Tampa Bay. I'm with you on that one. I think, unfortunately, I don't see a way Baker goes into Philadelphia, especially with how dominant Philly's offense is. But I think it'd be an Eagles and Minnesota championship game, and it'd be like a rematch from like 2018. And in that game, the Eagles would win over Minnesota and advance to the Super Bowl. And I think it'll be like a rematch from like 2 years ago with Kansas City and the Eagles. That's just my prediction.
I want my Bills Lions Super Bowl. I want it so bad. I've been saying it for months. This is what I want. I've dreamt of this game, Ian. Okay? I'm laying the foundation to get there. All I want for 2025 is a Lions Bills Super Bowl.
Well, I feel like everybody in the entire world except Kansas City would love to see that Super Bowl. I mean, that'd be a dream matchup for me too. Finally, the Bills get to a Super Bowl, and then the Lions never been to a Super Bowl. Yes, that would be such an amazing story. And we need something new and fresh when it comes to the end of the NFL season. Like nobody except for the Chiefs fans want to see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Like I want to see the day where they go 0-18 or 0-17. Then I would be
Not gonna
so
happen.
happy.
It's not happening in our lifetime.
Sounds good. Okay. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to do this, buddy. And obviously, I know we have talked. We can do this probably anytime again next week. Honestly, if you want to do this like on Monday, if you had time,
Yeah.
we could probably do that.
There's a game on Monday.
What's up?
There's a game on Monday.
Oh, right, the Rams and stuff. Crap, and I got to work Tuesday. Then I'll do
Yep.
it. We can do it Tuesday.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Sound good.
Alrighty.
Perfect, buddy. I appreciate you doing this, and we will talk to you again next week.
All right. Best of luck to your Broncos.
Thank you so much. If they win, I'll run around the whole town.
Good.
See you, buddy.